I'm Crissey. I work at MailChimp. I'm one of the devs on the marketing team, so I handle like the websites and stuff. I don't work on the app. It's for other people. I'm going to talk a little bit about making your own tools, which this isn't going to be a JavaScript specific talk because I'm not actually that great at building my own tools in JavaScript. I use JavaScript every day, but this is going to be more philosophical and kind of a step back at just building your own tools in general. So I come from a long line of like furniture builders and woodworkers, and I've always kind of approached being a developer as like being a craftsman. Like, this is my craft and I want to be as good at it as I can be. And anybody who builds stuff has a workshop, and I view my laptop and all the stuff that I use to code every day as my workshop. And anybody who builds furniture and stuff has what they call jigs, or little things that they have personally made that make their life better, and they may be useless to somebody else, but if they need them to get by every day. So I'm just kind of going to go over just some basics with I guess, as I was actually an art major in school. I used to be a designer, and when I got into development, I would find these hurdles where I just felt like I would hit these walls. And gradually I would find little things that were kind of I would find one little victory, and then that would build up. So I'm kind of going to go over some things that you may already know, some things that I talk about, you may not. People here from all different skill levels, so I made it kind of simple. I have completely customized everything in my work environment, and I highly recommend that anybody do that, whether it's your text editor, your terminal. It's something that you're staring at every day, all day long, and everything from your font choice to your color choices are super important. The readability of it, the not getting headaches from staring at it, it also ought to be fun. I have all kinds of plugins installed in Sublime Text, which is what I primarily use, not to have as many plugins installed as I can, but syntax highlighting and code completion are awesome and save me time. Keeping things up to date is also really important, except in the case of Sublime Text, sometimes you install an update and everything breaks. But that's a whole other issue. But basically, if you show your work environment love, it will show you love back. So these are some really small things. Like I said, you may already be familiar with some of these, but when I started working at MailChimp, I had really neglected this stuff, and some of the guys that I was working with showed me some stuff that really saved them some time, and now I write bash scripts like crazy. Everything from Git helpers to, if I update I use ZSH, but whatever terminal thing you use, whether it's, I've loaded up my config file with little things like, if I make a change in my config, rather than having to quit terminal and restart it, I just have a script, I just type reload and it reloads it without quitting everything. Some things that I use, like PHP processes get stuck and I can't kill them, so I've got a script that finds the PHP process and kills it. I write a lot of, we primarily use Ruby at work, but it doesn't matter what task manager you use. You can write little snippets that will make your life easier. You can make them project specific, or save it out in a file that you include in all of your projects. The tasks are awesome. I have a friend who's really into making Yeoman generators. I know there are a lot of other things, but I don't have a need for those things, but I know some people get a big use out of just use those things all the time, where they have a specific setup, like if they're creating a very specific new project all the time, they can just have it up and running really quickly. If you want to get into bigger things, I highly recommend, it doesn't matter what you do in JavaScript, I have learned tons just finding the smallest little thing and just writing my own version of it. For example, I wrote, like a couple years ago, I just wrote a set of plugins for myself, for my personal projects, like something that handles scroll events. And I learned all about how to work with animation frame and all that stuff to make it efficient. I learned the proper way to write it, and I didn't have all the bloat that a lot of plugins that I found had. So even if something else may have been coded a little bit better, I gained a lot of benefit from just writing it myself and really seeing how it worked. A couple of years ago, I wrote my own grid system that is terrible. If you find it on the internet, don't use it. Actually, I wrote a similar blog post to the title of this a couple of years ago about it, and I have since broken that thing beyond repair, and I'm just too lazy to go back and fix it. So if you look at that, ignore it. Worst repo on GitHub. But what I did gain from building that is I learned that grid frameworks are actually really simple when you write them right. I'm too lazy to go back and fix it. But what I gained from that was you don't need something like Bootstrap. Like if you're doing a project that just needs a simple grid, you can write a few mix-ins in lesser Sass, whatever's your thing, and it's yours. You know how it works. Name the classes, whatever you want. And then if you want to take it even a step further, you can start building your own NPM packages, Bower, Ruby gems. I have written a lot of those kinds of things, and I just keep them to myself. I don't open source them because I don't want to deal with other people. Like, I write them for me, but I don't want to deal with other people's pull requests, so I'm a coward and just keep it to myself. But yeah, so those are just some things I thought I would. I mean, no matter what your skill level with this, I feel like, well, for me, or like right now, just as an example, I'm trying to make, I use Middleman for a lot of projects, and I'm trying to make React work with it, and that is not the easiest, not quite as easy as I expected it to be. And so just like going in and making one little thing work, it feels kind of, it's like a little ray of sunshine in my day because something worked, because I break stuff a lot. But the thing is like, breaking stuff is actually kind of good. It's like, because it's like, you know, you're going, and then something just smacks you in the face and you've broken it. But you just keep learning. So that's all I got.